We're here for the first episode of, or the first guest episode of Cowboy Mode, and we have fucking Erick Hayden in here, the legend, the absolute legend of acting and of fucking long-time friendship, the CEO himself, Erick Hayden.
Definitely giving me too many props, but I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, Charlie.
Oh, sure. It's a pleasure. People always want to know what you're thinking and how you're this good and, your experiences acting with a bunch of crazy maniacs and doing really the most hardcore things there are in the world. People are really, really interested. They really want it. They really want it the long way, pretty much.
If you're asking my opinion, I always think that I'm the buddy that gets the invite because I'm a buddy. So I'm not going to give myself too much props. That's for sure. But
we can leave that to me. Yeah, we really have, and it harkens back. It harkens back to the crucible we enjoyed when we first started. I mean, we did some videos in high school, some that are lost, some that remain. We've, just really not much, but the thrust, the beginning of the in and out situation that you found yourself in, where the Black Country and Joy days of the method of just pretty much turning on a camera and forcing yourself to make a video, no matter what.
I still think even now, I don't really come across videos that probably have that type of origin. Like, I really don't think people turn on cameras without any aim and just rip it, record, and turn something, get something out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can get really obsessed with writing or obsessed with a scenario or obsessed with planning. But I find that if I get obsessed with anything besides doing something, then I end up fucking doing nothing at all. So that's what usually happens to me. So the only method and the best method, I guess, it just happened. We got crazy enough to where, like, just turn on the camera and you know what it's like. You had the experience. You can rehearse, which we didn't do any at all, pretty much. You can practice. That shit doesn't matter. The only thing that matters and the only time it's time to go time is when there's a camera on you or there's a mic recording. That's the only time.
Yeah, something definitely, something's triggered when that happens. So that's kind of a good thing, because if you asked me what the heck we were going to shoot, I would guarantee you it'd all be trash, but somehow it ended up always being something fun. I think that's actually the best part about it, is just that we've been friends so long anyway, that it's actually the most fun I can have is turning on a camera and trying to make my other friend laugh. So
yeah, and that's the aim. It's trying to make your friends laugh. And since we've known each other for so long, and we know our jokes, we know our style, we know our timing, and we're both drummers. Yes. There aren't many combinations you can get that are better than that.
It sounds kind of funny because I was talking to my wife about this recently, and I was probably drunk. I was probably I was actually giving
probably fucking speaking another language.
Yeah. So I'm talking to her and I'm like, honestly, there's one piece of the puzzle that either you've got it or you don't. And I will say it helps being a drummer, because, well, even the way I'm talking to you right now, Charles, like, I know to let you finish your sentences. Basically if I'm going back and forth with you and there's a camera rolling, I know where you're headed with your idea, and I'm going to let you finish it. And I know to pick it up right when I'm supposed to. It's a timing thing. And honestly, timing is so important.
It really is. It's everything with comedy or with drama or whatever, but we're kind of specialized in comedy or doing dramatic, pushing dramatic all the way to the end until it's comedy. And you really know each other. We know each other's rhythms. And it's an intuitive metronome that we have baked in just for so many hours laughing together and the timing of the drums, just all different kinds of stuff, and doing, the all these videos where you just turn the camera on, and we really never had any issues the second we turn it on. It's freaking it's just so crazy. It's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, really that the underlining idea behind it all is, and I mean, you have a really special talent with sometimes like run-on sentences, and that's the best way I can even do it, because I'm not like that. I think we have like different styles, and you in particular can go on and on and on and on, and I know when to let you do it, because I know it's going to get funnier and funnier, and the longer you go, the funnier you get. So that's definitely something. When the camera's going, don't take it off Charles's face for a while.
Yeah, it's something that you really need to know, and it's a gut thing. And if there's no script, then you only have your instinct and that knowledge to go back and forth with it, and it really works well because it's just the things that we've made in the years have been just fucking so stupid, so rich
Yeah,
and stupid.
yeah, stupidly good, but
Yep.
um, it is it's funny. Don't you kind of feel like there's been like a good assortment of shit too? Like
Oh yeah.
this, like the subject matter is kind of fucking crazy. It goes from, I mean, left field all the way to right, so it's good.
Yeah. There's just a lot. I mean, we started out with just trying to be as crazy as possible in the situations that we were in the old Black Country days, where it was we just tried to take it all the way, and doing our best to not laugh and to make each other laugh, and that's really where the quality comes off, and the variety that the experience that you got in TV, because you had to try to play things kind of straight, but you weren't playing it straight, you were freaking playing it bent,
Yeah,
so people could get a good smoke out of it.
yeah. I really, in my opinion, pressure was on for that, and it's only
Oh yeah.
because it kind of felt like for our stuff back in the day. I mean, naturally, there was not a huge budget for that sort of thing. So going through the stuff on TV, um, I would say I felt like I didn't have enough practice. Is the best way to
Mhm.
put it. Like I really still felt like I didn't have it going into it. But honestly, when even that camera started rolling, we still had the same aim, which was I knew you'd be on the side. I knew everybody else that was involved would be on the side, and in the back of my head, all I have to do is just think about what's going to make them laugh, and even if it's in kind of just a crazy mode, or if it's if even if I'm playing something straight, like even like that Steve guy in the Wall show is a very straight character.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
it's not like I had any freaking killer lines there, but it's funny to see me go from a cop screaming at a girl and being beat red in the face and veins popping out to going to be some lawyer guy that might be, I'm not going to say the best out of the three guys that were up there, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, oh, I definitely know what you mean. Yeah, you know how to turn it on, and it's really you really have no choice because the pressure is so extreme. There's no such thing as not putting forth something that's really a culmination of all of the experience you've had of just turning cameras on and all this, and you see it sometimes that you don't. I mean, they're I mean that one, even I don't know, I forget what else, but there are a bunch of sketches that you didn't even know you were going to be in until they were like, nah, pull this guy out, put Eric in.
I was
You didn't
just
even know
talking
you were going to be in it.
that cop thing, like
Yeah,
it was called MD Hookers. I don't even know what the real title would
yeah,
be for it.
yeah. That's
I
the
wasn't going to
exact
be a
title.
cop. And yeah, so that was like that was a very funny situation because for all I know, I was probably dipping off of the side of, on the sidelines, laughing, saying I was going
Mhm.
to have a very easy day. And I don't know if I think
Yeah.
one of the cops that was casted, he was saying some really funny lines, like rehearsing to himself. And I think everyone knew even
Mhm.
before the scene started that it was going to be not a flop. I don't want to say that, but it was going to go the wrong direction as far as what people
It
were
wasn't going to
hoping.
be exactly the right tone that Andrew was looking for. I guess we could
Yeah,
put it
yeah,
that way.
pretty much. I
Because it's
think
not that they
Andy
were
knew.
bad. It's just, I don't know. How it is.
Yeah, there was just yeah, it wasn't going to be as hard hitting or something. I don't know.
Mhm.
It was just going to
Yeah.
be a little bit off of what people were thinking. So I remember sitting. I think you guys were probably in like dress and hair and makeup and all that
Mhm.
crap. And Andy came in and was like, "Yeah, throw on that cop uniform. You're going to be out there." And which scares the hell out of me. I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, this is one of
Yeah,
the
it's my day off.
yeah, yeah. It's my day off, and these scripts are very, very broad, so you don't really have a good gist. Even some of these scripts don't make a lick of sense to me, to be honest with you. So even if I stared at the thing for a couple of minutes before I went out there, I'm like, I don't even get the aim of the sketch. I just didn't think I was in it, so I didn't look at it.
Mhm.
Um,
Yep.
so that was interesting enough to just go out there. And I was telling Andy, I'm like, what do you want from me? And I've said this before, but he walks by me with a really funny face and doesn't answer my question at all. Just walks right by me, and I'm like, I'm screwed. I am
Yeah.
totally screwed going into this one. And then it
It's
turns out to be
so
something funny
perfect.
because the only thing I want to do, Charles, is just make everyone laugh. So I went out there and went as hard as I could because if when in doubt, go hard.
Yep. When in doubt, kill.
Yep. So that was
Yeah, no,
funny.
it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect because that gets you in the right space because Andrew knows what you need. It's not like he doesn't know what you need. I mean, he was juggling so many things, but he knows that you don't need anything.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just you never know it. I never know it. There have been times where I'm sitting in I'm sitting in the room with Andrew. He's doing something like this. So what should I do? And we're just looking at each other, just laughing, and then 10 minutes later, we're fucking rolling.
I honestly think you're better at that than me. You're way more naturally funny than I am, but it is funny because you get into the mode where you think like in that situation, you get called to be this cop, right? And you're gonna go in there, and it's something to do with the emo trade and all this other stuff that's in the script. I'm like, what the hell is that? I have no clue. Because I wasn't involved in the writing, so I wasn't sitting in there kind of getting the gist of the sketch. So totally clueless. And you start to think like your part might have more weight to it than it does. And then you that's the one thing that I think from here on out I will always think is it doesn't really matter. Like, especially in our situations, most of the situations we're in, we don't have a clear ending to any of this crap. Like, you're better off going out there and having fun and going nuts. And it's going to be turned into something great because it's fun.
Yeah.
It's
for
not
real.
like I'm saying lines off of a script that really have to do with a $400 million movie. Like, let's go out there, have fun, and our friendship and shit is what makes everything so good because I think that's what's translated on anything that we put out.
Yeah, the chemistry on the set is with everyone is really freaking. It's really, really, really good, and it's a different game when you're reciting lines. If you don't, because we don't have any experience, doing film or doing theater or anything like that. We went in with pretty much zero experience. I mean, we've never done any plays or anything like that, so it's a totally different game. I guess I would only guess that the idea would be doing improv is more difficult, which I guess you could agree that it is, but they're just two different things, and we're so good at the improv, and that's just our specialty. So we just ride it right in. We didn't need lines. I mean, I've tried to do the lines before, and I botched that because I just wasn't, I didn't have the. I don't know what it was. I was really adamant on sticking to a script and certain things that were really, really sickening, but I have no idea. I must have had a disease in my mind at the time, but it doesn't matter. We got right back into pure improv, and it's really good. And people want to know, and I always ask myself the same thing, and about myself or about anybody else. What ways did you? So I don't remember for myself. Well, actually, I do. I'm going to have to remember because I guess you're helping me remember to get into the zone. Can you recall any of the things that you did to prepare for any of these sketches? I know that the scripts are vague and some things you didn't even know you were going to be in, but there definitely were. I mean, I remember with the CEO stuff, you know how nerve-wracking that is when you have no idea what you're going to do and you're asking people like, you think this, you think this, you think this, and you're not going to get any right answers.
Yeah, you know what helped me with the CEO stuff is it was kind of a drawn out situation. So the first thing that was shot was that crazy ending scene where we're all dancing, right?
Yeah, on the day zero freaking soft moon shoot.
Yeah, so
shoot. Yeah.
You get day zero there, and that'll get you in the mode right off the bat because there's no lines, there's no anything. Now at that point, I have no dance. Clue. Everyone's just going crazy, and you realize right then and there, like, this guy's obviously like, I mean, high strung beyond belief. And I knew that part going into it. That's the whole point of it. And that might be about as much as we really knew about that guy or the character. Is he's a high strung, crazy CEO, and this is like his let go, moment there. So like that's the first thing shot. So you realize like the guy is like almost like his mind snapped basically at that point. So I just knew, a lot of people, I read things and people say like, oh, American Psycho. Okay, well, yeah. I mean, to a certain point, like if you could look at something and say like American Psycho, sure. I mean, there's like a piece of that, but what helped me on days of actually shooting CEO was I realized like there was things we never used. Maybe it's because I didn't use them correctly. But there was money spent on like a gyro cam that was going to be
Mhm.
zipping around me, and you realize like the way things are shot is it gives you a good idea of how you should be acting. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but like if you're getting shots that are ripping around your hips, you know the guy's totally Shagat's crazy. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and you get tips from director and Andy and stuff. So I like you really do. The director is so important. He knows what he wants for a final product, so he is definitely gonna give you tidbits. Even though we just said like sometimes he zips by, but no, there is
Mhm.
definitely like a there is an end result that you're going for. So you know he's gonna end up telling you that crap and um but as far as like once you get in that place and you get in that mode, I that's when the improv kicks in. Honestly, like that's what
Yeah.
it was. I mean, there was lines we threw out there like the whole thing, like you know, is this coming out of your check and all that stuff. Like I just think of that stuff on the fly because I just see the girl come in and it's like you just react to her thing. That's not in the script. It just seems like a funny thing to say to someone if you're their boss. I mean, it's just
It's yeah, it's so good, and you have to be really good to pull that stuff out. You have to be straight up the best to pull that stuff out confidently when there's a crew, when there's millions of dollars involved, when there's all different kinds of stuff. It's those ad libs or throw-ins that you don't even not even thinking of because you know you can always edit stuff out. So it's you know the more the better when it comes to that. You can always cut things out. So it's really so high powered to pull out stuff that actually works perfectly. And you know the stage is set, and if there needs to be adjustments or if things are slow, yeah, and you know for the setups, you're definitely gonna get some those things from Andrew. You're gonna get the rundown, but sometimes you know he knows that you know you don't need any rundown or
yeah.
no one needs nothing.
I
He'll
think
like it.
don't you think there's points where um you know it's going to look funnier if you don't know what you're doing. You know, like you know what I'm saying, right? Like if your
Yes.
ignorance is bliss with this because you go into a situation, you get a camera in your face, you're going to say stuff on a whim that it's impossible to throw in a script. It's impossible. It's
Yeah.
so off the wall because you're stepping and fetching sometimes, which is comes off sometimes. It translates so funny.
Oh
Um,
yeah. From another dimension.
and actually, Charles, to go back to your you know, the kind of like the question of prep. Do you remember
Yeah.
for your the same sketch for the MD hookers? Do you remember us
Hmm.
kind of like um spitballing and I was bringing up the interview with like Brad Pitt and
Yes.
so
Yes.
so if you can
One
recall some of
hundred
that.
percent. 100%. And there's a lot of the tone and the quality that really came through well when you were like picking out references. The old Brad Pitt interview when he's you know when they're asking him his age, he's saying that he's 38. I think he's like 25 or something like that, 23. He's laughing and he's really cool in the way he looks and his face and his eyes. There's a lot that you can really start to put together the tone of how you want to play it off, and that one worked really well.
That was good, right? Like this is real Brad Pitt in an interview. So it's not like you're looking at something he acted out. This is even though he technically is because it's an interview, but that was such a funny one. I mean, the girl was asking, this is probably going back to like 1990, 91 or something like that. But
Mhm.
he was a young guy and she was asking like forecasting his career. Like things how are you supposed to interview Brad Pitt at 20 something years old, 22, who
Yeah,
knows?
the Thelma and Louise days.
Yeah, and ask him what he's like, where he thinks his career is going. He wasn't even answering her. He had your face, you know,
Yeah.
quarterback style, just brushing off questions, like not answering, just shaking his head like "fuck you."
Yeah, it was so good, and it's you're lucky to have any references that you can draw from with our performances. It's a pretty lucky thing, and it's a really great thing that was put forth, and it really came through to some really good tone and some
Yeah,
good nonchalance. It freaking was really had a lot of weight.
and you know, I love thinking back to those things because if we didn't look at the interview, you may have played someone completely different. You really may have. Like
Yeah.
that's just the things that kick up we think are really funny. And we laughed about that. So it's like, and then you aced it. You know what I mean? Like that came off
Yeah.
so funny, dude.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. There's a benefit if you watch a lot of good things, like if maybe it's a time that you're born at or the stuff that you have access to. It's at least there's one good thing, or there's a few good things, but there's a good thing about watching movies or interviews that you can really get some tone out of those things, and the timing from some of our favorite movies that we watch freaking every day for weeks.
Yeah. Yep. That's
Watching.
that stuff literally is embedded in your head, which is nice. It's good.
Oh yeah, and I couldn't imagine what people embed now. I mean, I don't know what they make now, but better off looking to the past for anything decent. It's so funny, but yeah, you never know what you're gonna get, and and it's coming back to the Soft Moon shoot at the end of CEO. It's a pretty good benefit for you when you start out at the end of your character, so you can work backwards instead of the other way around. It worked out really, really well.
And that's exactly what I was trying to say. You know, I got an idea of the end result of that character, and then it was like it was easy to fill in the pieces.
Oh, it's just so good. Yeah, it was freaking really good. What do you think your favorite sketches out of all those? At least the ones that you were in. What's your favorite?
Well, I would say the CEO, honestly.
Yeah.
But I love looking back at that MD Hookers one, just because I did that 100% on an improv type thing. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But things I was in, well, let me go the opposite way. Things that give me hot sweats thinking about, because I had no clue what to do, is like the rug smashing through the table. What do you think that sketch is called?
That's God, what the hell was that one called? Freaking.
It's probably like something to do with Nick, but I don't know what it would be called. But either way,
I actually don't even remember.
That
one was pretty hard to begin with. That one was really, really hard.
Again, another situation where I went there, I wasn't supposed to be in it at all, and I shouldn't have been. Because it's one of those things, I literally had no clue where this was going. I knew a girl was going to smash into a table, and I got paired up with this other girl, and it's like, I actually didn't think I had a line until the camera like moved from Charles to me, and I was like, I have no clue what we're talking.
You're in the sketch, you think you're not going to have a line? So good.
I thought like it was like couples, like, hey, Eric, we're just throw on these clothes. We'll throw you like in the sidelines here with another couple, just so it's like more of a friends hangout. And it's like, I have no idea what this is. I don't know how far to go with it. I don't know, like if you just want me to brush by me with like a BS line, which they pulled like more of my facial expressions out of anything, just because the girl was funny. She was, her facial expressions and her comments were like very, I don't know. She was probably just as nervous as me or something, but I had to give her a couple looks like, what the hell are you saying? And those facial expressions just ended up making the cut. But
I do remember those feelings of like, just because if you know who's going to be starring in the sketch, like this is Nick's sketch. He wanted to really have a style and have fun with the bottle and with the table, and you're on the other end. You're thinking you're gonna get off easy.
I thought I was in the clear completely. I mean, completely. I was actually enjoying the idea that I'll be.
I could just chill.
I had a front row seat of the sketch, but that's what I thought I was getting. I'm like, this is awesome. I actually get to sit in here in the bright lights, and that's all I have to do. And it was like, uh-oh.
But, no, you're again going to get called to task, and because the energy and the focus required for these performances is so obscene, and it's harder before the camera starts rolling. As it's rolling, no one is ever tanking or burning. I mean, there's one situation that I can remember tanking and burning, but that got thrown out. That wasn't really in. Didn't really make it. It's a good thing. No, just the never again during the pilot. When I had all the prosthetics on, I had a disease in my mind, and I was for some reason adamant on sticking to a script, even though we were there for improv and all. I don't know what the hell was going on with me. I was probably messed up, but it's something that I really, because that would have gone completely differently because I stuck too much to the script and just repeating lines and trying to sort of like practice getting good takes out of the lines instead of just going anywhere else.
Yes.
And it really freaking botched it so badly, and that was fucking burning in hell during those times.
See,
but that maybe that's just me.
I don't think you botched it at all, but I understand what you're saying, and I think the problem with that whole situation, first off, the pilot has a lot of like I mean there's a lot of pressure to it because either you get the show or you don't. So no matter what, that pressure was on everybody.
It was extreme, yeah.
That was an extreme thing, and that was the first time we had that type of I don't know. That's the first time we were sitting in front of 100 people with call it how many thousands a take, like is what it ends up being equal to.
Huge set, huge production, goes right into 7 a.m., 5, 6, 7 a.m. in the morning, like blowing out. They're only starting to learn to juggle how to try to relax or rest in between. And it's just like you're turned on and nervous the whole time instead of really trying to kind of shut down for a little bit. If you have some time, some downtime, it was just, that one was really, really, really hard.
Yeah. And I was, oh my God, tired isn't the word. Oh my God. For that one, man.
Didn't you just do the drive? Didn't you just get back from the drive for that one?
No, the craziest thing is that's when I started the drive home. So like, you had things like The Gambler and things like that, but it wasn't the full blown acting that was required. Was the Gambler was in the pilot, or was that in the main one?
Yeah, no, that was in the pilot. Yep, that made it into the season 1.
Okay. Oh, so it made it. So it was from the pilot, but I made it into season 1.
Yes.
Okay. So you had things like that, but I don't think the pressure was there on that like it was for the Never Again. The Never Again was like a very long, drawn out, expensive situation. And, a lot of lines and all that crap. And I get sticking to a script because that's the first time we've had to kind of choose whether you can, it's your show, Charles. So like you could change the lines. You could do it and you could have fun with it, but you didn't probably feel like that was your liberty or something at that stage.
Yeah, there was some of that in there. Yeah. Yep. The confidence or just anxiety or not, thinking I was locked in, I couldn't get out even if I wanted to, like, and, maybe thinking that they all expected a script and we really didn't do all the hardcore just improv yet. There's a lot of stuff that I guess you just work through with experience, and everyone's lucky enough to be the best at what they do. So you get the green light for everything else and even that, but everything else was freaking good too. But yeah, it's really crazy, but it doesn't haunt me, but I'm always like, oh my God, like I remember those times. I was freaking falling asleep, standing up, getting my makeup retouched. It was crazy.
I think we were up for, I'm going to guess like 30 hours, right?
Yeah.
So we were up for 30 hours. After that was done, that was the end of pilot recording. And I remember everybody kind of like saying,
oh yeah, that was the end.
Yeah, that was the end. And it was kind of like everybody started, getting their drinks in and whistling cigarettes and doing their thing. And I had to zip home. So I literally, after 30 hours, I was like, all right, well, shaking hands and I'm skipping any type of rap type situation. And I jumped in my car and I was driving up from Atlanta all the way back home to Rhode Island at the time. And I've never been so tired in my life. I felt like I was going to die. And I wanted to do it straight through and there was no way. I ended up pulling off in a Wendy's and sleeping for 9 hours in the parking lot at one point because I was going to drive off a bridge. It was like, it was way worse than any drunk driving ever. It was terrible.
Oh God, it's really such a special, those memories are so good, man. The memories, I have to talk to you when I think about those memories because I don't remember anything for one reason or another. So I have to, it's the best memory lane situation is when we're talking about it because you remember a lot of the stuff and then it just brings me back to, the really crazy, crazy times. And it's just so good to remember though. Well, it's not like you're going to forget that, but it's just, those are such hardcore stories that are, they're just freaking good. And what you do to get the stuff in it's just so hardcore and so right.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing you didn't die.
I love it all though. I mean, honestly, like I really do. I think back to all that stuff. It's like literally the most fond memories. The whole crew's great. Like everybody involved is so good. And even that Never Again thing, like little things, I always just try to throw out a couple things that people might not know, but You know, like even where that was shot, you know, indoor, outdoor, because you guys had like the indoor set built,
Yeah.
you know, with all like the electronic side of things. And that was in like a props warehouse. Remember that?
Yep. Yep.
So like
Yes.
everything in there kind of revolved around haunted things, but the entire place is filled with you know, like, you know, just show and movie props and all that stuff. So I mean, in between anything,
Oh yeah.
anything I had to do,
Yeah, that's right.
I was walking through this, like, it looks like a prop museum, but I mean, there's just a million freaking things that were there. So like, instead of me going off and sleeping like I should, I was just walking through because there's no way I could sleep, but just
Oh, yeah.
looking through all the like props.
Probably dying to sleep.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, I don't know. The whole situation, the Crakes thing with Roachford was so funny.
Oh my God.
They felt like that whatever you guys had envisioned for whatever he was going to wear for like a headdress, it was like way overkill and terrible. But I'm sad that didn't make it in because that's Roachford's forte. I was laughing my ass off, man. I mean, straight up, I thought the lines he kicked out of there for an hour and a half straight, being like a football, like a high school loser that was just tagging along with his coaches and shit thereafter he graduated. Man, he was killing it. And I remember everyone else laughing their asses off too. I'm surprised it didn't make the cut somewhere.
Yeah. No, that was I just remember the field stuff, the outdoor stuff. It was really, really crazy. It's that's it definitely is his forte, and he had to work hard for that one. Like it took a lot of fucking burning through anxiety and a lot of performance and a lot of physical stuff. And even wearing that thing was, I mean, wearing those things was really twisted. It's freaking,
Dead of summer crazy. In Atlanta, it was, oh my God. I mean, we were just dripping sweat, and this guy had like 100-pound rubber mask on. It was like unbelievable. But I think about Roachford going through that. And it dwarfs the hell out of anything I have to do. He's much better at this stuff. He's natural, but
you're in the same tier as all of us are really, and it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear by the footage, and you really got the treatment with the tardigrade suit, man. Like you can't forget that. God. You got the royal treatment. You got a treatment just like him that was even. You got your ribs broken in, rolling out of a freaking car, rolling on the concrete in a bag, like sitting there. Sitting at the bar. It was crazy.
It was crazy, and man, like that thing stunk so bad. I felt so bad for the people that had to deal with it. Like it was like wearing a perspiration outfit that people would use for working out, and it was. Yep. I took this thing off, and there was like a liter of sweat rolled out of the bottom of it. Like it was disgusting, and there's no way to wash it. So everyone's dragging this thing around in a hockey bag, and as soon as you open this,
how hockey bags stink.
Oh God, I felt so bad for I don't know who would handle that, but yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, even Roachford, he felt so bad doing it, but I'm all about, I really like want to take it for the team in every situation when you guys were there. So there's no limit to what you guys would put me through, and I would do it. I really would.
Yeah, there wasn't a limit to what you went through in that suit.
So like Roachford was punching me, and I was in like this stuff never made it, which is sad. I actually wish I could just see it just for fun. But I was in like a hospital bed, and Roachford was like, he's supposed to go in there and like kind of kill me. And he's
you're getting assassinated.
Yeah, I was getting assassinated. So he's in there with like a hockey stick or a 2x4. And he's just beating the hell out of my gut, like not as hard as he can, but he's making it look believable. And it was just inside the suit, I put a 2x4 across my chest, and he's just wailing it. And it was like one part of the 2x4 was too low, and it was digging into like one rib. So every time he like wailed it, it was just like blasting one rib. And I'm like, this thing's gonna be broken. And and he was punching me in my face, and like I remember him laughing. We were generally laughing our asses off because he was just wailing me in my face, and it's just a rubber mask. And one time he pops me in my face, and he's like, "I just think I broke his nose," and we're laughing. I'm like, "Keep going, it's all right." And he's just like, "Nah," and he's like, "I just broke his nose." Like it was
Getting a punch in the face.
He's like trying to whale me in my cheekbone, and one time it like pops me directly right in my nose. He's like, I just think I broke his nose. It was so funny.
Oh, it's really incredible, man. I love that. I love that stuff, and just it's so incredible to see that for the first time. You have a huge warehouse with a tiny hospital or a tiny freaking bedroom inside of the warehouse in a set. It's so crazy to see.
Yeah.
And you're in there. It looks 100% legit. It's so crazy.
Even the lighting with like the neon lights and everything, like it was great. It was well done. That's when I wish I was on blood pressure medication, like I am now.
Oh.
I have been since, but I actually only realized it then because I was in that suit and laying there and being on set and doing those things. My heart was like racing so much, and it's basically from like heat and not being able to breathe. But I only realized later on, I'm like, oh, this would have been so easy if I just had my medication at that point, because clearly I probably had it the whole time, but it only was like amplified being in that suit. I remember sitting there saying like, either he can break my nose and my ribs, but I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah, he's gonna break your heart in there. We're gonna get your freaking magnesium and potassium levels checked to see if we can do that without medication. We'll have to save that for another time.
Yeah, we will. Anyway,
that's so funny. I like, one of my favorite ones is when you had to escape out of the freaking bag and you got rolled out of a truck right onto the ground and trying to roll straight.
Yeah, and I could not do it. And after you screw it up twice, you're in like a sealed bag, like a hockey bag. And if maybe you can even like see it in one of like the shots and stuff, but yeah, the back doors open up, and I have a pretty good way of falling. I kind of feel like I've got that down. I feel like I
do
always
some good stunt work.
Yeah, I always will have that part down. Never worried about like hurling myself onto the ground from like 3 feet up, because I can always just land on my back the right way and roll. But that isn't a problem. I could do that, but I could not roll straight and keep it in the shot. So we had to have one of the other guys, Abe or whatever. He ended up acing it for me. But after I screwed it up, like
did it so well.
Yeah, like I screwed up like 2 or 3 times. But after you roll yourself in a black hockey bag, like 25, 30 feet after falling out of this van a couple times, like the whole room's spinning. You're
getting into a dangerous situation if you do that a bunch of times in the heat. That's crazy.
Or you just realize it's going to get worse and worse. Like you're already so dizzy.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to be able to do it. So that was a funny one.
And this legend comes out that he was a absolute legend. Some really good stuff with good stories with him. But yeah, he just apparently he's rolled in a bag before.
He definitely knew what he was doing. He's a good athletic kid. He definitely, I don't know. There's certain things you can't do, and I can't roll straight in the bag. You really find out what you can and you can't do when you do improv stuff like this. It's really insane. I'm trying to think of that whole like assassin situation was funny. Like Charles, we never even saw like when that thing blew up. Remember, like the tardigrade guy came out from like a lower level, and I met you in a parking lot, and the thing exploded.
Oh yeah. When I had that was the Zuckerberg one. When the thing exploded.
Yeah, we were in
I don't even know if I remember that.
I don't blame you, but this was something. The guy who was in charge of explosive, it's like special effects.
The demo team.
Yeah, it was like a special effect guy with like a beard. He was cool. He made something that like basically as soon as I wish I knew if you shot me or if you stabbed me.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. When I ran over in the socks or the whatever, or not the socks, but yeah, that was at night.
Yes.
The quick. Yeah. Okay. I remember that now. Yes.
And like, remember, like I had to spray the blood all over your face.
Yes. Okay. Cause I did have the weird mask on.
Yeah. You were like the assassin guy.
Okay. Yes, I remember that now.
So it's another time. Oh, it's another time where you would, like the same guy who was in that race.
Yep.
Remember you were in like a marathon or something.
Yeah, I remember that.
So yeah, that same guy. Like I came out from God knows where, and I'm in a parking lot, and you ran up to me, and I think you stabbed me in my stomach. And the thing is designed to like explode blood. and we had to get it all in a shot. And you can barely see out of this tardigrade outfit. So it's like very small slits in your eyes and you can't really see shit. But you stabbed me and I was supposed to spray it all over your face, which I did. And then I'm also supposed to get a shot where it's like a POV and I shoot the camera too. So like we had to get 2 shots of this thing exploding. So, that was just fun stuff. It was like, you gotta like things that I wouldn't have known way back in the day. And it's stupid, but you need to like hit your spots. And
yeah, you have to hit the blocking and hitting your marks and knowing where the camera frame is going to be, working the camera like that are really, really, it's not easy.
Yeah. So that was something that was a learning curve through the whole situation. But I always found that to be a cool aspect, like not only can you not see, but you got to get up there and you got to spray blood directly at Charles's face when it explodes. And then this is me going across like 150 feet to get to where Charles stabs me. And we got to both hit our feet right on these taped marks on the ground and all this other shit. And
it's hard. It's really hard to juggle.
Yeah. It's kind of a lot of stuff.
Unless you've been doing it for years.
Right. And we were definitely new to that sport. So that was cool. Yeah, fun stuff.
Yeah. It was really crazy. One of my favorite memories is one of my especially favorite memories is Andrew's performance during the tardigrade scenes.
Yes. Yeah. He absolutely aced it. I think he said something like it might overshadow all of our acting ability. So he said he couldn't put it in.
It was so good, and I don't know what the hell happened. I just remember that was during the time that was in the mall. Yeah. When you were punching freaking breaking props and slicing your hand open, punching things when you were on a roll with Nick and the party. But I just remember Andrew's performance was so good, and he was so confident and so good. It was so funny.
He's like, you know what the best part is?
He was so twisted. It was crazy.
Oh my God. So, I mean, he's trying to explain what a tardigrade is to Nick on a couch. And the best is Roachford was in such a fun, like crazy mode that he was like almost busting Andy. Like he was like busting his shot. He's like, Nick, I'm trying to tell you something. I'm trying to tell you about tardigrades.
Oh, that's right. The tone, man. That's right. Those were the deliveries, man. It was so good, man.
It's like, Nick,
oh my
stop
God.
talking for a sec. I'm trying to tell you about tardigrades.
Oh my God, man. It was so good. I'm going to have to get that memory out of Andrew.
Oh, we got to
freaking in the future. Oh my God. It's Andrew. He had this. He had some of the best performances on camera over the years. It's so good, man. So good. Everyone is so legendary, man. Seriously. It's really, really something.
Oh man.
Let me ask you, what sketches, if you recall, what sketches do you wish that made it in that didn't get made, like that you were in that nearly got to be made? I only remember one. I don't know if there are any more.
Let me think. Yeah, I mean, besides tardigrades, what is the other ones that I was in? Things definitely got whacked.
Yeah, I don't remember the name. I should have been prepared. I should have prepared the names of the sketches at least. But the one with the husband and wife arguing endlessly in the cage, me and you, with the like the host talking about like the play-by-play sort of like kind of like a zoo observation kind of, but it was just us. I don't even remember what it's called. I should have looked it up.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I think basically like the gist of that sketch, which I think would have been like ultimate improv funny, was like me being the annoying wife or you, whatever, if it was flip-flop, but I'm sure I'd probably play a better chick. Naturally. No, but I maybe I have more annoying experiences with that, but yeah, basically, like no matter what, like just average scuffles, like not letting anything go, and to the point where you and I would probably like throw each other downstairs, and it's all just like your average Friday night of like you trying to go out, and you deserve to because you've been home for 2 weeks with me. You know what I mean? It's like you want to go out one night and it starts at nothing and it ends in like brutal,
an all-out brawl. No one seeing eye to eye. It was really, I was nervous about that one just because it was going to require an enormous amount of energy to do. And it was just during those times, like we didn't have time to talk about these things or rehearse. Like when we were in the middle of it, there was no time for that. You had to check out and do your best to decompress if you had days off or something. You couldn't even be into that world.
I mean, realistically, if you're going to do a 16-hour day, the last thing you're going to do for the 2 hours before you go to bed is talk about more sketches. There's no way.
Oh no, it's crazy, man. You had to tune out. And but I do remember that one was going to be a really big deal, but it just got smashed. And the only thing I remember from that was going to happen, I should have looked over my damn notes on those things. But the only thing I remember is that I was going to flip the couch across the room from under me while I was still sitting on it. Yeah. That's the only stunt that I remember being planned.
I remember like lines like I was just gonna scream at you like you're just a boy. You're just a boy.
Yeah.
That type stuff. That's the funniest crap ever. You're just a boy. You're just a boy. It's basically like an annoying Italian girl that I wanted to play.
Yeah, it was really, really a special treatment. It was really going to be a good one. That was going to be just a really, I don't know how we would have fit all those in, 5, 6 episodes or however many there were. I forget. I don't know how we would have been able to fit those in.
Who the hell knows? But I even think like the real struggle with that after we got into the thick of how much goes into this crap is camera setups for everything. And really hard to like bounce around a room. Unless, just get some shaky cam type situation that's going to be doing it, which would be fine. But, Andy's too much of an artist to probably like love that. You know what I mean? Like he sets up such awesome shots. I mean, he wants it to look like amazing every time. So I think something like that, he wouldn't be happy with the way it looks. But I think it would have been a lot of fun. It would have been a real stretch to see what we could pull off. But I would have loved for you to just, drop kick me down staircase. Like I think it would have been so funny.
Yeah, it really would have. It just would have been. It would have been crazy. And I know there were so many more. There were a bunch more that got nixed. I just I thought I thought we were gonna remember them while we were talking about this.
You know what's funny? Man? I can't believe you remember that. That's how crazy I am. Like I would have not remembered that. I really wouldn't have. That's so funny. I gotta relive that because that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, I gotta dig up the scripts and my notes and that because that was really an intensive one. Such a super intensive ones. Do you remember any scenes from any of the sketches that you really had to struggle because of laughter? I don't know if you recall any of those.
That side of things is easier. Don't you feel like that, Charles? Don't you feel?
Yeah, it definitely is, especially if there's a crew and cameras. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely surprising to me that like basically I was never in a scene with you, Charles, that I think I was faced to like stare at your face and not have to hold back laugh. Like honestly, out of all the sketches we've done together, I don't think the ones that were on TV ever required me to have like a conversation where we would be pushed to that limit. Don't you feel like that?
Yeah,
didn't happen.
Yeah, actually didn't happen. And the only thing I can remember where it did happen is the Orville metal detector episode, the old bomb strap classic. That's the only one that I remember that it was really, really hard to do.
Oh yeah. No, I mean if you're gonna say off of TV and the stuff we do with bomb strap and stuff, now it's a different situation. Oh my God. I mean, that's like littered with that type of shit. Orville, man, we've had so much fun laughing with that. That stuff's always hard with you. I mean, we just bounce off the same type of humor. So.
We're really, really face to face on that one, and the performances from those were really people really, really enjoy those. All your performances on anything is they're really people really love them, and they're just really, really nuts. And I can't believe that. That's the only one I can think of, whether it be on camera, I mean, on TV or off TV, that I can remember there being a sort of an issue to keep a straight face. But I can't recall anything.
I mean,
within World Peace,
our house, there's those situations too.
Yep. There's that. Yep. The Our House stuff. There was a lot of that. That was really. I mean, some of the stuff. I can't believe that shit. I can't believe that.
when we were face to face, people haven't seen this stuff yet, but when we were face to face doing like the end fight and stuff like that, there's some lines like there's one line, and I'll spill this one just because it makes me laugh, and I've watched it recently. But
Oh.
you say something like you want to play games again. I don't want to play games, and you say, what kind of games do you like to play? You're like, you were saying things like you want to dress up like ladies do. Is that your
Yeah.
type of game? And like with a long drawn out like scene, and you're like, what type of games do you want to play? Like, and I was fucking
God.
crying with that one, man.
Yeah, God, I forgot about that. I'm gonna have to rewatch the cut of what is available for that. Man, it's enough to make you crazy. The quality in that one. Damn.
Yeah.
I'm glad you remember those.
Oh yeah, no, it's our house in Orville. Yeah, we had a lot of those situations.
Yeah, they were really like when there's like antagonism between us in the scenes, it's extra. It goes the distance there.
Well, it's because like the way you cut me on those things is in the funniest way you can. It's fucking really funny shit.
Oh, it's so good that you remember that, man. Well, one day we'll be remembering it even more. One day everyone else will remember it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's so funny. How did you get to wind down after the shootings? Because we didn't have time to rehearse or even talk about sketches. I'd rather face a firing squad. Like, dude, what did we what did we do besides watch movies? Did we do anything besides watch movies? Have a beer or whatever.
That's pretty much it. I mean, we went to a couple bars, a couple nights. It was, I'm not familiar with Atlanta at all, and I actually didn't. My eyes were opened to the idea that people sometimes say Atlanta's like the East Coast LA. I had no idea that was even the case. And there's like specific bars where there's repeat offenders from where you see people on set. So I think a lot of people that are dealing with that type of TV shit end up at these specific places. So, Andy's he's fluent with that crap. So he knew where we should go, and you show up there, and then you end up seeing a bunch of heads that you worked with. So that stuff was really cool. We hit a couple bars doing that. But yeah, we just we killed beers. I went out with Roachford and a couple of the other people from like whatever, like just the people we hung out with mostly on set one night.
Yeah,
that was fun. I got so hammered. That was such a scary. Oh my god! I'll say that.
That was a scary one.
This was fucking scary. So I got way too drunk. So got absolutely hammered. I went back to Roachford's house. He was staying in a wicked awesome place. It's like a glass.
He was staying at Matthew McConaughey's freaking place or whatever the hell it was.
Fucking glass house. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And at the end of the night, cooked. I mean, I didn't have a car down there anyway, so I was Ubering no matter what. Where can you say the place we were staying was, Charles? If you were to say like Northeast, like whatever the fuck it is. South.
The only thing I remember is that it was the tap water place. That's as far as my recollection goes with directions. I didn't even know where I was at any minute of the day.
Okay, so yeah, so I mean, even that, just to reference, the tap water sketch was in Roachford's place where he was staying. But like the place where you actually were renting, Charles, like your loft place was in.
Oh, that one. Oh yeah. That was right across from
Beltline.
Yeah, it was near there. It was right on the side of the Ponce City Market, and it was right across from that. The show. There's a place where they had live music, where people where I saw. Who did I see there? Fucking Filter.
Oh yeah.
I saw fucking Filter there.
It was a little.
While I was in, it was unreal.
A little auditorium type place. Yeah, I imagine that place is small but good.
Yeah, it was really really small. It was God, it was like Orgy was playing.
Yeah.
Filter. It was insane. Filter's the best. But I don't remember. But I get right next to Ponce City Market.
So let's say you call it
Peachtree Ave. I don't know.
I mean, if you could say this won't be right, but let's say it's Northeast, because people like reference Atlanta that way. I don't know how. So I leave Roachford's fucking absolutely hammered, and I get an Uber. It's like 2:00 in the morning, and I jump in there and I do my best to like put in whatever the hell I did. And the guy's like, you know where it's near? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, there's a Kroger right there. It's northeast. But I ended up saying something completely wrong. Now I go all the way. I'm like 25 minutes away from where this should be. And he like pulls up. He's like, is this it? And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, this is not it. Now, the guy is so nice to do this. And this is what scares me because, I mean, there can be some rough parts of Atlanta. But the guy's like,
Yeah, there are pretty rough parts. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm so sorry, man. I'm like, I'm nowhere near where I'm supposed to be. And he's like, nah, that's cool. He's like, just tell me, like, give me more. And he drove me back. Like, we ended up in the worst place you've ever seen, alleyway type place. And I was sitting there and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually die here. I'm like, for real. I'm like, this is where I get killed. And I can't even like speak. I'm so drunk. So I'm like,
that makes it perfect.
yeah, I'm like, I can just tell myself, I'm like, I'm done. I'm cooked here. The guy's like, don't worry about it.
Drop me off at the hospital.
Right. Please don't kill me. So the guy drives me. I give him some more information. The guy drives me right back to the place. Doesn't even charge me for that Uber, and just says, pay it forward.
What?
I was like, what?
You drive Uber for a few weeks?
I mean,
free?
Literally, I made the guy drive around for an hour. And I didn't even know like where I don't even know where I am. I must have been so stupid. And the guy's just like, you can't give me anything. I'm like, there's a Kroger. He's like, there's a Kroger right here. This is why I brought you. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, and it's so late. I can't ask you guys where it is. I'm like, I don't even know how to get home. I don't even know where it is.
You should have asked him if he had an extra bed. Have you got a couch?
If I would have had a roll.
How did you get home?
He drove.
If you what?
I gave him like a couple more. Like I'm sure I mentioned the belt line at Kroger. He's like, I know where this is. He's like, yeah, you're like a half hour away. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm so sorry. If I would have had a Rolex, I would have gave it to him.
Yeah. Damn, man, he saved your life,
saved
man.
my life, man, for real. Like that was a crazy night. But anyway, that's how we unwound. But
it's a good way to unwind.
yeah, that was a scary one. But I mean, we hung out with Mouse, man. Those were always fun nights.
Yeah. Well, let's see if you can remember any more of the chill out things, but we may have exhausted it. I just remember the place that we were staying at was the acoustics were such that you could hear, it was me, you, Andy, Joel was in there, and John Mouse, all in essentially one room. You can hear everyone breathing.
Oh yeah. And my breathing's nice.
Yeah, your breathing's really nice.
It's definitely top notch, especially after getting absolutely cooked. I'm pissing everybody off. These guys are nice enough to let me stay there for free because I probably wouldn't even have enough money to like stay down there. And I'm above everybody working 18-hour days. I'm keeping everybody up all night snoring. It's pretty good. Feels good. Makes me happy.
Dude, it's something out of a cartoon, man. That's something to add to it. That's so good.
Andy's screaming at me in the middle of the night. And you get in that situation. Like I genuinely feel horrible about that. And I can't do anything about it. Like as soon as I fall asleep, I'm going to be snoring. I'm like, what do I do?
Erick. He's screaming at Erick.
The best is Hayden.
Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was.
Hayden. I'm like, what? He's like, snoring so fucking loud. I'm like, what do I do?
You're sleeping outside, covered in bugs.
I smother myself with a pillow and kill myself.
Oh my God, it's so good, man.
Yeah, fun.
And then to top it off, you have John Mouse next to you on the couch.
Oh, I know, man. Like you got like a guy like that doesn't even know me, probably doesn't want to know me, and I'm keeping him up too. But he's so cool, man.
Oh, he got to know you, man, and he loves you. I'm sure he loves everyone. It's you had the really, well, we all had a really good John Mouse experience, but you had yours went above and beyond because you were doing like the airport rides with him.
Oh man, I had like so much fun with that guy. He's so stressless. At least maybe he's not, but to me, like I love the way he rolls. It could be stressful for someone that wants to keep a schedule, but that wasn't my worry. I was doing the best I could to get him to where he had to be. But I mean, like I was getting text messages from people doing scheduling, and they were just like, he needs to be on set by this time.
Yeah, you were sort of his taskmaster at one point. It was just you and him at the house, and you were waking him up, getting him to the shower.
Yeah, the Uber master myself. I can't even get home.
Yep.
I'm getting Ubers for him to, and myself to get to set on time. And the guy is so good. Like, he's asleep, like cold stone asleep. And I'm like looking at my watch and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, hey Mouse, we got to be on set in like 45 minutes. It's like 30 minutes away. I'm like, I hate to wake you up. I'm like, but we really got to go. He's like, oh yeah, no, that's cool. Let me take a quick shower. Which one should I use? And then, he does his thing. He takes a decent shower, and and then it's like, all right, we had to leave 5 minutes ago. And then he pulls out his phone and he starts like booking air flights. He starts doing flights for like trips later on. And he's just totally doesn't give a shit in a way, like in a very healthy way. Like, he's just doing himself,
in the best way.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't going to be, he might have to be on set, but he's not going to get like drop off on set and then, hey, action. It's not happening. So like, it's all cool and everything, but I just want to hold up my end of the bargain. So trying to usher that guy there was just so funny. Like, it was so drawn out, and it's just, the guy's so cool.
It was really good. And it's the best because he refused to stay in a hotel. He wouldn't be anywhere but in there with us. He refused. He said, no, I'm staying with you guys. If I'm going to be part of this whole thing, I'm not going to do a hotel. I'm going to be with you guys. So he's with us all the time. We go out somewhere. We're rolling in with John Mouse.
Yep.
When we go to a bar. It was so good.
And he's chilling out on the couch. He's like, no, I'm good.
He's on the couch.
I'm good. No, this is it. This is perfect. I'm like, all right. He's getting the A-list a treatment.
A lot of people wonder if you were using real straight vitamin B3 niacin during the CEO sketch, and I think we both know the answer to that.
Well, what I took was way more than anybody in this world could take, I think. But I mean, realistically, everybody's saying his face is so red from that. Naturally, my face is very red. Anyway, but they had like an air, what would you call that, Charles? Like, it's like a spraying type fucking air thing.
Sort of spray tan.
Yeah, it's one of those type things, and they were spraying red on my face to amplify the effect. So I did not take real deal niacin. I probably did, because maybe we were on that kick when I was taking some anyway, naturally, but
I thought you did, man.
I mean, I did. I think we were taking it normally.
I remember you had some in the car ride. Maybe my memories are wrong.
It's not that you're wrong, because I'm sure I was taking it naturally, but I like in that thing, I think I take like 15 fucking pills at the same time, and I definitely didn't do that.
No. Yeah. So, yeah, that wasn't real nice.
Yeah. As far as like the actual shot, no, I didn't take that much, but I was taking it naturally because I had it in the car. And I think that might have even been like, either it was written in, or that was like, what else could I take? And it's just funny that would just throw in more niacin. It might have been like an afterthought or something, but yeah, no, they amplified that with the spray tan red. So that was everybody. Yeah, they always bring it up too. That's kind of like the main thing people say about that. Like, look at how red his face is. Probably didn't even. They probably sprayed me with red, and it made me more tan. Yeah, I probably naturally was more red.
Made you white.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember what about the when you were bashing your head on the laptop with the headphones on?
Oh yeah, those days? All that stuff. That's improv. I mean, like, it was how crazy could you go in that? And it's funny too, because whatever the fuck they had on I look at it, whatever the hell they had on my face, like when I was slamming my face into the thing, I'm looking at the laptop, and like you could almost make the imprint of my forehead and my nose on, whatever came off of my face onto the top of the thing. It's just funny.
That's really unbelievable.
Yeah.
What's like, do you remember any significant or funny or good? I mean, there are a lot of good memories, a lot of good interactions with the crew.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, I think the crew that you guys had, either they put on a really good act of like being friendly, or they were. And I think they were friendly. Like, everybody there was really, really cool. And I think we all got along really well. I mean, there was certain situations, obviously, that people didn't, but I wasn't even around it. I wasn't even around it. So I don't think
Yeah.
it was a big deal. I don't think any of that stuff was a big deal. I think more than not, everybody was like having fun. We all went out for drinks. Everybody got along together. Something that popped in my head when you first started asking that was like, I want to get into like how much fun it is for people that, in a way, were kind of like up and coming, right? So like you guys were all up and coming. You kind of come from like YouTube, and then you guys jump into this situation, which is bigger and better and cooler. And for me being on the outside of that, but still getting the invite, how much fun it actually is. And one thing I always think back to, it makes me smile, is when you get the invite to go down on this thing and you jump on a plane and you get off and there's someone to pick you up and you get to the set. The first time I got to the set, like you, Roachford, Sam, and everybody had like a minivan or something they gave you guys, and you guys were doing like donuts in the parking lot for fun when I showed up. And I just want to like say how much fun it is to like get to that situation, hug it out, and everybody's doing donuts in the parking lot with like the rented van and stuff. Like it was just, when I think about that whole world peace thing, I think about those things. Like that's just guys getting together, kind of getting an opportunity that's fucking funny. It's just a funny, fun thing. It's almost like going on vacation with your buddies. When you get there, it's like, it's fucking, let's go nuts.
It's really special. It's a shame that was only one season, but it was really special to have an opportunity to enjoy that and get the sort of a royal treatment. I mean, there were people that were helping, assistants. There people that would get you what you need if you needed a drink or food or anything, or if you were cold. There'd be people sort of asking you. People were mindful of it. It's a really great. The experience was great with everyone. Got along with everyone. Everyone got along with us. It's just we had a lot of fun with everybody.
It was fun. I remember. Actually, I might have been even going back to that, me screaming in those girls' faces as a cop, but like I didn't think I was in the sketch. So, things that the crew or whatever this production company would set up is like, food every day. You got like buffet style and all this cool shit. And right before I got the news that I was going to be in this sketch doing what I was doing, I remember eating like the most garlicky, shitty things I could get my hands on. It's like I was eating garlic cloves for lunch. And then it was like
garlic and
like
onions.
throwing the cop suit and screaming this girl's face. And I'm like,
throwing up all over someone's face.
No. I'm like, no toothbrush around here, right? Like it was just so funny. I'm like, I'm gonna seem so disgusting. Just like
that's really good.
The things I think of. I'm like, oh my god! I'm like gonna be screaming like an inch away from a girl's face that doesn't know me, and I could not have worse breath. It's just funny.
You went out of your way to have it.
I seriously did.
Before you knew,
like,
though,
whatever was on the table that could make my breath the worst, I was like, I feel like garlic. I feel like I feel like having hummus with like I stole all the garlic off the top. I was doing the worst things I could.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good, man. Freaking, it's just crazy. It's crazy the memories that you have from something this wild. And you're doing comedy, so your job is to have fun on camera and off camera. You do your best, and it's really what it turns into is something very special. And it's just it's really such a complete madhouse when you look back at it. I got to write some of these memories down. I got to get a hypnotist, see if I can remember any more.
I know. I'm trying to like. I mean, there's so many. Honestly, there's so many. Like, if we could talk for another 6 hours about like the whole experience, because, like even side note, funny stuff to me is like you guys had way more busy of a schedule than I did. But you guys were allowing me to like hang in the house, and I mean, typically when you get out, sorry, phone. When you get out of the situation, you guys have no time to clean, you guys have no time to eat, you guys have no time for anything. I mean, honestly, when you get out at like 1:30 in the morning, you're limited on what you can scarf before you have to get up at 6. It's horrible, as far as like the normal life. So if I had like extra time, I was trying to like clean and do people's laundry to take some like steam off and shit. I remember I cooked like chicken parm one night for everybody at the apartment. And it's just to not have fast food one night in the last 12. You know what I mean?
Damn, it was so good, man. Yeah, we really appreciated those those gestures, man, it really went a long way because it was a real death march for 30 days
Yeah.
straight. It was really
We had fun with
unbelievable.
Joel.
Or 20 days or
We had fun
whatever.
with Joel too. Joel's a wild man. He's cool.
Like Joel, he's a real maniac. You remember anything funny with Joel? I've had some of maybe the funniest time I ever had. It's just hard to really put into words because we were out, just me and him, went to go see X-Men. We just went around the town, we had to mail something at FedEx or something, and just the things that were happening there, it's not really going to translate. And we went to a movie theater, we were talking to the guys there, went to an aquarium. It just doesn't exactly translate. Maybe Joel will be able to put that into a different tone, but it was a day that was really the funniest day. You remember anything insane from Joel?
Not me personally, but I didn't know if you wanted to talk about anything that happened at a restaurant with him. That's involved in the table and.
Oh my God, man. Yeah, there was one really special time. I do remember it. Yeah, that was at a Mellow Mushroom. We go there one time, me and Joel, we're eating pizza or having a beer. And there's some sort of a sporting event, or maybe some sort of a team was in town, or they got off their game or something. I don't know if it was rugby or whatever the hell. I don't know what it was, but we were just enjoying. And then all of a sudden there was just like a guy, like a gay man sitting at our table and running his game on us, me and Joel, because this is Atlanta. This is a sort of a gay capital of the world. One of them, I guess you could say. So there's a lot of gay stuff going around. And I mean, Joel and I are gay enough, but I mean, the situation that night was a little bit gayer than we are. And they were laying it on so thick. And I mean, it was getting crazy. Like we were starting to yell and go crazy. And there were people crowded around the table. It came to the point where I'm standing on the chair, filming and taking pictures and of the situation going on. Okay, I sit back down. I'm trying to think of what to do next. And next thing, Joel gets under the table and then stands up, flipping the whole table all the way down. Water and beer all over the pizzas. The table flips it all the way over.
Picture a guy, a lanky
crazy
guy that's like 6'9", getting under a table. I'm not even joking. 6'9",
6'7",
yeah, something like that. He gets under the table, like literally stands up under a table and flips it on the ground. Like, I wish you had that on camera.
Oh, I wish. I wasn't prepared for that sort of situation that we're in. It was not a normal situation, and it was funny enough, but it wasn't exactly funny. But I mean, I like to enjoy these things, and so does Joel. But they really pushed it all the way, and Joel freaking stood up under the table and flipped the whole table down onto the floor. It was the place was a madhouse. We turned it into a madhouse.
I didn't really know Joel and Joel did some editing for the show, by the way.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And so he was at the house.
He goes way back.
Yes. And I didn't know him too personally before that, but we got along nice and good. He was funny. He was
yeah, he really enjoys you.
I mean, he's actually he's very good. So the first time he walks through the door, 6'7", crazy man. He's like jumped. It has one of those staircases that has no like toe beater to the staircase. Like you could pass your foot right through the front. So like he like jumps up on the staircase and is just ripping like a set of 30 pull-ups on like holding the stairs and stuff. Like he's just immediate maniac. And from there on out, it was just fun. He was a good time the whole way through.
Yeah,
washing his underwear.
He's really talented. He's really he's just one of the craziest men that I know. He really is. And we've had some good times hauling. I don't know if you remember, and I didn't really even remember it a lot of times. I reminisced with Joel kind of recently, and we're remembering just so many. I mean, what would happen is the kitchen would be rendered inoperable because the sinks would be filled with freaking skull. So you couldn't use the sinks, and the counters all across the sink area were all empty gallon glass jugs from chocolate milk that I was getting at the Kroger because I was like, oh man, they have good chocolate milk.
They come in glass containers. They got to be good.
Oh, there was so many freaking 50 bottles filled. I'm going over there to lug it in freaking tote bags and backpacks of $40 worth of $40, $50 worth of refunds for the glass bottles. I mean, it was
I remember that
crazy,
too.
man. I had a lot of
I made a
chocolate
couple of
milk.
those runs too while I was there, just to get the the refund for that crap, just to clean up the place. But it was the same thing.
Oh
Each one of
yeah.
those jugs is filled with like whoever ran the water in the sink, but it was already filled 2 inches deep of dip spit. So it was just a
Yep.
freaking nightmare. Uh,
It was really just pure peach. It was just really, it was unbelievable, man. Like you have to do that kind of work. Like you have to disconnect. You don't live. It's not a normal
no,
time. I mean, everyone out like oh, the exec. Well, we're the executives, but like the
big wigs.
yeah, the bigwigs. I forget what to call them exactly, but it's just a day
I
job for
know.
them in the office and even stopping by the set to see just to check up on us, see if we're not getting too crazy or maybe they're interested in seeing how it's going. And it's really, really, it's just so psycho. The whole experience is really
Those
so
interactions
psycho.
were kind of funny. During the pilot, I kind of feel like you're right. We hung out with this one guy, black guy. He's one of the higher ups over there, and we went down there, and he hung out with us. Yeah, he's a
Legend.
great guy. He came out with us as soon as I got down there to Atlanta. I just threw on different clothes from driving 20 hours, and then I met you guys at a bar right
Yep.
away, and he was there.
Yeah, yeah, the nice one with the like Walter and the
Yeah, yeah.
mezcals.
When we got absolutely tuned up and we had
Ah,
fun, and I'm sure
yes.
he was kind of just feeling out the way we would be in that situation, which we're not weird. We're cool.
Yeah, it's part of their job to see if we're weirdos or if we and it's kind of their job to see if we get out of control if we go out
Yeah,
for
I think that
drinks.
there's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
He was
it's definitely.
not to say that he wouldn't come out for drinks with us anyway, but he was probably put up to gauge our insanity. And
Yeah.
and it was a good night. It was all fun, but it's just kind of funny because like a couple of times, we would end up at like a club, and undoubtedly we were, you know, four of the only white people in the entire club. And it just made me laugh. Like this situation just being there. It's like huge, packed, chest to chest type place. And we are the only white people there. It was honestly, it was funny. It was really, really funny.
Yeah, there were really, really excellent situations. It was really good. But we're good where we can enjoy any sort of situation. And I mean, we got along with all the brass
Oh, for
over
sure.
there, and some of them are pretty crazy. But the people that are directly above us they're normal and they're cool and they're
I
they're
think they
just
got
good.
it. They liked it.
Yeah. No, they did. They had a lot of fun. I just can't believe the product, man. The experience was really, really a special time. Everyone knocked it out. It was just, it was just insane, man. I just couldn't believe it. There are things, just you go there, you see like the wheelchair pickup and Sam doing that for like 8, 9 hours, like a real big one. It was really so
And honestly,
crazy to see some of these turn out so
honestly, the
great.
wheelchair pickup still, out of every sketch that was done, that had me laughing the hardest. I think it was the funniest
Yeah,
thing I've ever seen in my life. I was rolling around laughing.
that's the go-to. That's the go-to that him and Robbie and they I just couldn't believe what they accomplished there. It was really really an achievement. But that's the go-to that I go to for laughs.
I mean,
It's really it's really
I don't know
unbelievable.
if Sam probably wrote it too, but Sam writing that and acting that out was like, God, that made me laugh the hardest. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen. And yeah, I would say that's like to me that was like the funniest day for me. That was a good one.
Yeah. And that was the last day. Didn't you
Yeah.
leave right after that was done? Then we leave a little bit and then you went
Yeah,
right to
so like
hell.
the end of that, and I actually don't think that part was ever in the cut. The last day I was there for the real show, was inside the club. Remember how like it translated into the club and the tardigrade was there, and
Okay, okay, yep.
Sam had some lines and stuff with Robbie out in the
Oh yeah.
outside, whatever, in the parking lot, and all that stuff. But I don't think it ever made the cut. But that was the last day I was there. So as soon as we wrapped there, I zipped. So unfortunately, I never make the wrap party, but it's just not my time.
Yeah, It's not in the cards. It was just so good. It was really such a crazy thing. And after the set got diminished, we still did some real bangers. I still can't believe how strenuous it was. Like you had to take freaking cold showers before scenes just to like burn through pressure. Like you had to take because it's not like you could freaking smoke drugs. It's not like you could get hammered before these things. I mean, what you relied on mostly is, sometimes you have a beer or something if there were certain ones, if it was really light duty or whatever. But for the most part, you relied on monsters and a vape.
That's all you had.
That's all you had. If you're doing improv like that lasts for 12, 16 hours, like you can't be getting wrecked like that. You wouldn't even be able to perform.
And I mean, sometimes you have the one get out of jail free card you have in your pocket turns to dust.
Yeah.
So there
is that, you mean sometimes when a freaking vape dies?
Yeah. But yeah, no, you couldn't do anything to get away from, this wasn't a hangout situation. Those situations were full blown 16 hours a day, and I had it much easier than you guys. So if I was in your position, maybe I'd have a heart attack.
Yeah, it's just we're all lucky we survived, and it was really just crazy. You think we covered the most insane thing to happen in Atlanta? I think we got it.
Yeah, if I can think of anything else that was like, I mean, if you put yourself in that situation for me, about a month and a half, I mean, every day was crazy, but yeah, I mean, hopefully that paints the picture.
Yeah, every day, man. Every day we freaking did it, and it really is a piece of history that we sort of smoked. Yep. We smoked it real good, and it was really a pleasure. And it's just so good you were involved in it, and it really elevated the whole thing. And people they're really fan favorites, like CEO and your performances and some of the other sketches. It's really elevated everything to another level.
I'll always appreciate the hell out of that. All four of you guys had me involved in that. Honestly, I was like, it's something I'll always go back to in my head because it was one of the best times ever. It really was.